law would change so that I couldn't come to Speaker's Corner and advocate a different religion publicly in the face of Islam, yes? And the potential punishment for that might be death. Yes?
There's capital punishment.
Capital punishment,
but
okay?
But not in this. We have to go to specifics.
Okay, but broadly speaking, we agree that that's...
broadly we can't, because it's a general statement.
The way I just described the position was accurate, no?
It's not as simple as that.
I didn't say it was that simple. Just as an introduction to people who don't know, that's what I'm saying we're discussing.
Yeah.
Yeah? You do advocate that in a Sharia state that would be the case, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And I'm pointing out that the current constitution of the country guarantees two things. It guarantees... Yeah, go ahead. It guarantees regular elections and secret ballots. That's the one thing.
Why don't you guys have your cameras a bit like that so people can have space to listen? Like,
okay.
Okay.
The current constitution advocates...
You've got three now, I'm jealous.
I don't need three. We'll go 2-2, it's fair.
Come on.
Okay,
yeah.
Fine. The current constitution of the country permits... Are we good? What?
You know what happened with the Sky Devil? He took the mic, he didn't turn back.
Really? That's the reason why they...
We made him.
All right. Okay, are we good? Okay. The current constitution of this country guarantees two things. It guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of press, and it guarantees you'll have regular elections and that you'll have the ballot counted secretly, yeah? That's the constitution. What you're advocating would change that constitution. Yes, can you see that you would be doing that because you would then be limiting the freedom of speech?
Yeah.
Therefore, in the interest of self-consistency and with respect, because I like that you're being transparent about what you believe, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Your argument is that under Sharia state, if I speak out against the state, I would be committing treason.
Yeah.
Logically, what you're advocating at the moment is for a change of the constitution of this country. Therefore, you are advocating... Well, because you would alter... Okay, therefore you are advocating something which is also treasonous according to the current paradigm.
Yes. That's
wow.
Correct.
Okay, this is now a very interesting conversation.
That's very correct, yes.
Okay, so we have... Wow. Okay, we're on a level playing field. I'm surprised we got that far.
Yes.
Therefore, would it be unreasonable of me to say that if you expect me to pay potentially a death penalty for committing treason in a Sharia state, it might be reasonable of me to ask that you pay some kind of forfeit in this one?
100%. I believe, like, for example, it's very simple. Imagine you have a mango tree and I have an apple tree.
Yeah.
I come and pick your mango, yeah, okay, the mango tree, and I eat it. And you allow me.
Yeah.
But you come to give apple and I go, look, I personally don't allow
Okay, I totally respect your self-consistency.
Good.
Seriously.
So what that means is this. Just because you allow me doesn't mean I have the we have the same regulation in Islam.
Okay.
So we say, you might allow that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But to me, specifically, I don't want to share my apples, argument's sake, yeah?
Okay.
So therefore, you can't ever go at me if you allow me and I don't allow you. You might say, you know what, but that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, okay, but I'm going based on what God Almighty has said to me. Now, when you say this, you make it seem as if those laws don't really apply here. They do. Edward Snowden.
Sorry?
Edward Snowden, you know Edward Snowden?
Yeah.
Okay, Edward Snowden and the guy at WikiLeaks, what's his name? I forgot his name. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Whatever.
Where are they now? Where are they now? All they did is expose the US military and the atrocities they've been doing in Iraq. Yes, and where are they now? The guy was hiding in the embassy. I don't know which embassy it was. You guys also have the same laws. The only reason they don't get rid of me, because I'm not a big fish already. If I start making movements, if what I'm preaching, I'm telling you, forget the government. You'll have the far right get rid of me. So the point is what? What you're talking about and what Islam legislates, there's nothing different.
Look, as long as we're consistent, I'm happy.
No, good. But what I'm saying is we are not consistent. The point is this. You claim in the Western world, they're okay with freedom of speech. No, you're not. I dare you to go to America and go to one of these Bible belts and go and insult Trump. Before you open your mouth, they'll be on the floor dead. The point is what? We're saying Islam doesn't bring anything new to the table. Islam is consistent. Islam says, we have that legislation that if somebody causes corruption in the land, because Islam has come to protect, I told you 5 things. Your mental well-being, your religious rights, your wealth, your lineage, and your wealth, yeah? There's a capital punishment with all of them. If you steal, your hand will be amputated. But it's not getting a tomato. It's you actively going and breaking into a house, opening the safe open, yeah? Islam says we've come to protect the right of the human beings. Your wealth should be protected. And believe me, if the Sharia was in the UK, the British people will celebrate because they'll be like, oh my gosh, we didn't know this side of the Sharia. All we hear is the horror stories. Islam has come number 2.
Can you tell me when can I respond?
Yeah, sure. Let me just make a few points here. Number 1, in London, bro, you can get robbed. A group of people can stop your car, kick you out your car, rob your car, steal, stab. Bro, it's crazy here, yeah? Number 2, why do you think a lot of people are going to Dubai or like Emirates? Yeah, it is safe. Or they can drive their Bugattis, their Bentleys, their Rolexes. Yeah, it's safe. So why? Now the point is this: Islam has come to protect those rights. So if an individual like yourself, argument's sake, you live in the Sharia, we give you rights. We say, for example, you pay if you're a Christian, you are Ahlul Kitab, you are closer to us. We can eat from your food. We can marry the woman, etc. So you are close to us. If anybody tries to mess with you, the Muslim fighting men will come to fight them off because you're under our protection. But we say there are certain things you cannot do. Yeah? Which is what? If you come to an Islamic country and say, F the Sharia and there's going to be consequences because you are causing corruption in the land. You're causing disorder. So Islam says, leave people alone. Do you have the opinion? Keep it to yourself in your house. You don't like these lands? You can go.
I get
go
it.
to Dawah
I get it.
and go get a ticket. We'll buy it for you and you can go. That's what we will say.
Got it. Now, obviously, we disagree on those principles.
Yes.
Yeah, we share different principles, but what we do agree is that I would be being treasonous in a Sharia state if I advocated one thing, and that technically, currently, you're advocating something treasonous as well. And in the interest of self-consistency, if you'd reserve the right to kill me in a Sharia state, would it be unreasonable of me to ask that? I think you should have free. Okay, wait.
Sorry, I thought you asked me a question,
Okay, fine. I'm totally happy with freedom of speech. Advocate what you want, including this, okay? I'm not anti-freedom of speech. But it might be unreasonable and proportional of me to say maybe you should do 1 day's community service each year if you would like to have... Whatever it is, just that.
Yeah.
So in the Western paradigm, when you commit treason, we go, just symbolically, if you do a day's community service. And in the Sharia state, when we commit treason, you kill me. Now, at least we're being sort of consistent, although I'd argue we're being far more lenient. Would that be reasonable?
I think it would be very reasonable if the British government employed...
So it's a different question. I asked you that question.
No, treason.
My question, would what I just advocated, the idea of you doing 1 day community service, you understand what I said? Let's do this off camera.
That won't stop me from preaching Islam.
No, I'm not suggesting you would. I'm saying absolutely preach Islam, do what you do, and I admire, I respect your conviction, although I disagree with you. Yeah. But it does seem proportional for me to say that maybe it would be fair to do 1 day community service.
Okay,
that's all.
That's more than fair. But
thank you. Can we shake on? I'm not.
Okay.
So if I start a petition for that.
Yes.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you.
Not only that, if you petition and the British laws passed a legislation that said you are not actively allowed to preach Islam.
Yeah, I wouldn't support that. You should be able to preach it.
No. If they did,
I
would have no problem with that. I'll leave the country.
Oh, I'd fight your corner. I think you should be able to preach whatever you want.
You know what I'll say? It's consistent with my worldview. They don't want me to preach Islam here. I'm going to go to a different country. If not, I'll just go to an Islamic land. No problem. So what I'm saying is that I am okay with that legislation.
Okay.
I am not contesting it. Because the reason why is because you're under the assumption that the British government and the Western government are okay with it. They are not. The moment Ali Dawah becomes so popular that he has a massive following and he's going to overturn the government, best believe you will find me dead by suicide.
Maybe, but suicide.
Okay, but he killed himself.
Okay, but
I will be gotten rid of. So
maybe not.
Maybe.
But we can agree currently you can turn up here and in front of a bunch of cameras. How many YouTube followers you got?
Irrelevant.
A lot. We can look it up. You've got tons, okay? So far, they're giving you a fair amount of latitude to say what you want, and I'd say that's one of the benefits of democracy.
I'm not a threat to the government. If the moment I'm a threat to the state, they will get rid of me. And the reason I'm saying this is because they are consistent, and so is Sharia. The Sharia is, and by the way, this is just a part of Sharia. For us to magnify this, the Sharia consists of a lot of things. For example, let me cover some of the problems that the UK has. Number 1, you get rid of your elderly.
Yeah.
The elderly are left to die.
Where's my bag?
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So the thing is, sorry.
That's all right.
So in the UK, you are dying and thirsty for the Sharia. Why? Because the Sharia comes and tells you that you, as a child, you will be shunned if you do not look after your parents who are reached an old age. Number 1. Number 2, the Sharia will deal with theft like this. The statistics will go boom to boom.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because when you get a thief who's gone and broken into somebody's house, stealing their money at knife point and threatening them. So imagine for a second, you're in your house, and your family's there, and a man comes in with a knife. Your daughter screams. Your wife is running for her life, The man is trying to fight him. if this man is caught and
Yeah.
if he harmed somebody,
Yeah.
he will be crucified in public. We will be in Speaker's Corner and you see a guy hanging upside down. To me, that is the best deterrent to anyone, rather than saying, you're going to do community service. Yeah, don't do it again, please.
Can I chip in for the...
Naughty.
Can
So
I,
what I'm saying
can I
is,
chip in something?
You can chip in.
Thank you.
Tell me why that is not a solution to your problem.
I never said I had a problem with our society being so chaotic it needed that level of draconian law to... You've identified that as a problem of Western society. I don't happen to agree it's nearly as extreme as you think it is. I think we have a decadence problem and we've got a whole load of problems, but not to the extent you do, yeah? Just for the record, I know you say that in that situation you'll have people crucified. My impression of you hanging out here for a couple of years, and I don't know you at all, okay, but we've spoken a couple of times, I think you're probably actually quite a nice guy, and I know you think you... Hang on, let me finish.
Why does that make me bad?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Although I know that you think you may crucify someone, my feeling about you is when it actually came to it, you're a sufficiently nice guy, I'm not sure you would. And if I was your lawyer on camera, I'd suggest you not to argue with that point too strongly, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, look, I'm not saying, we need to understand something. In the Sharia, there's individuals don't do anything. There is a government. There's a body. There's not a witch hunt. There's not a bounty hunting going on here. It doesn't work like that. In Islam, there is legislation. You don't get somebody who's stolen or done something.
I never said there was.
Okay, good. So what we're saying is...
I'm objecting to the legislation.
Okay, good. So what I'm saying is that there's governmental bodies. There is judges.
Of course,
juries.
that's taken as read.
It's not, hey, of course somebody's stealing
That
tomato.
doesn't offset the
Sharia law,
criticism.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, the
It
criticism
doesn't
is
work
like going, if my kid only gets a D at maths, should I kill them? It's not a matter of how...
No,
okay, my point is it would be too extreme. Now, my response to Sharia law is, it's too extreme. I don't care how judicial it is. I don't care how diligent it is. Just the penalty for the crime is too extreme, full stop. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my position.
But you see, the thing that you're missing is this. You're claiming, you're saying, you're such a nice guy, I don't think you would do that. Now, how does it make it...
I'm guessing.
No. The point is this. How have you made me a bad person for wanting execution and capital punishment of someone who has violated the rights of someone else? How have I become... This is a problem in the West. Because what you've done is this. We will let people steal, violate the rights of others, and we will just tap them on the hand. And Islam comes and says, hold on a second. We will get rid of this one guy, and that will be rehab for all the people that are watching who want to do the same thing. Now you have saved thousands of other people, other victims, at the cost of one individual. You're saying, no, that's barbaric. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay,
I am.
Okay,
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's put it into, look, let's weigh up. Let's weigh up, guys, yeah? There are individuals who go and stab, rob people, go into their houses, and this is happening in the thousands, yeah? So we've got thousands of families being violated from their wealth, from their health, from their wealth. Now, Islam says, if one individual does that on television, we are going to give him the capital punishment.
Yeah.
And people are going to watch it, like it's Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, the other individuals who want to perpetrate it are going to go, damn, he just lost a left leg and a right arm, and he doesn't look too happy. Okay, should I go and do that? I'm going to give it a miss. Now, in return, that is going to cause the safety of thousands of families to walk in peace. Now, which one is more barbaric?
But live in fear.
1 second.
Walking in peace but living in fear looks good from the outside, but internally, the whole premise of your society is the people who are walking around obeying the law. Your whole point is that they're sufficiently afraid that they're now repressing that kind of behavior.
Well, one second. Who's walking in fear?
The people who you say are now being lawful, who wouldn't be lawful otherwise, they're being lawful because they're so afraid of the example you set. That's your logic.
No, 1 second. The only ones that would fear are the ones that want to break the law and rob people.
Really?
Okay. Look, we're all law-abiding citizens, yeah?
You think the law is 100% accurate?
1 second. Are we all law-abiding citizens, yeah? Okay, I don't have a plan of robbing anybody. So that, to me, do you know why I don't have a problem with that? Because I know I won't be doing that. The only one that will be scared and speak against it would be who? The one who wants to rob.
Out of interest.
He'll be like, you know what? He'll be like, no, I don't like that law at all. You know why? Because he's like, man, I do it for my living. I'm robbing people.
Excuse me, question.
So, 1 second. The point I'm saying is the following. The criminals are the ones that would fear, not the law-abiding citizens. I'll be happy. I'll be like, thank God. I don't need to fear somebody's going to come and rob my house. So do you see how Islam has, by giving a capital punishment to a criminal, has saved thousands of other families? Whereas the Western system, I'm nearly finished, the Western system says the opposite. No, that's too barbaric. Can't do that, no problem. And thousands of families are scared. If somebody comes, you can't even, bro, if somebody breaks into your house, bruv, you will get done. There was a farmer who shot the guy, he went in jail, he came out, all this kind of stuff. So tell me which one is better for this, for the well-being of the mass.
I think the Western system aspires to something which is proportional, where the punishment is proportional to the crime, okay? I would hope you'd embrace that in principle. Hang on. Right, so let me give you, let me ask you a counter question. So currently the guy who breaks the Sharia, they're going to be what was it, crucified, or they have their arm and leg cut off?
If they rob, like let's say my family's walking down the road, they come with guns, they rob my jewelry or whatever I have, and then they kill me.
And what are you going to do to them?
Not what I'm going to do. What the
no, what's the punishment?
The punishment is very simple. Their left leg, their left arm, and right leg, or right arm or left leg. They can choose. Yeah.
They can choose.
Yeah, we have to give that.
So if you're ambidextrous, you will get on edge.
Yes. And then they'll be crucified. Yeah. And let me be honest with you, that there will be the biggest deterrent to any thief.
Got it. Question: why stop there? Why not actually just keep torturing them in the public square every day? Year in, year out, as long as you can keep them alive and really make them suffer. Because I guarantee that you will act as a deterrent, that will work even better. So why don't you do that?
Good question.
Thank you.
What we say is the following, yeah? Islam is not there. Yeah, I think this conversation might be a bit,
This conversation might
be a bit gory, you know.
We said it might be a bit, you might not want to be in on this, seriously. No, I'm not joking, I'm serious. Okay? I'm just forewarning you, because it's quite graphic. Okay?
Stay?
Okay. My point was that the fact that I'm talking about proportionality, you also respect the principle of proportionality. We just disagree on what... No, you do, because you think that would be too much, yeah?
No, what I'm saying
you don't think it would be too much?
No, what I'm saying is this here. God Almighty has told us that when these things happen, you get a group of individuals, believers, and they witness what happened to this individual, yeah? And the whole point behind it is what? Is not... The Sharia is not out to look for blood. The Sharia doesn't say, cannot wait to catch, because there's certain legislations...
I never said you were.
Good. So what we're saying is, the Sharia is there to protect the communal rights. And let me tell you, the far right, the orthodoxes, Christians, Jews, whoever, they would fully agree with this. For example, only if it hits home. For example, if there is an individual who has raped a young girl, yeah? In this country, what's going to happen to him? The max he's going to get is what?
So you don't think the punishment in this country is proportional to the crime?
It's ridiculous.
It's a debate to have. It's a debate to have.
What would happen to an individual in this country that raped a young girl? And not only that, I told you, man. It's sorry.
We're trying to tell you.
Yeah. He's going to come ask Martin. I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable talking.
We don't have to. I mean, I think. He doesn't. No, seriously. What he's saying is he doesn't think you should have this discussion in front of a child, and he's trying to be respectful of. Actually, so on that basis, it would be cool if you didn't stay with the kid. If he's not comfortable discussing it, I think it's reasonable of him to say he doesn't want to. I mean, the options are: if you stay, I suppose we'll have to wind the conversation up. I don't want to get rid of you. You're a mate. I like you. So it's your choice. Do you want to stay or do you want to...
Okay, if you persist.
I don't mean it impolitely, it's just... I mean, they have certain codes. Like,
if the mum is here, you can drop it to the mum and come and listen. Yeah, I'll buy popcorn.
Is that okay? He's just trying to respect your child.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the point I'm saying is...
Hang on. Wait.
For a girl that's been raped and has been killed.
I get it.
What does British law say?
You don't think it's extreme enough. In British law, it wouldn't be as extreme as you think is appropriate. I don't know.
Let me say lavish life. Lavish. No, forget life. But what's life? Okay. What's life? What? 15 years? 20 years? 25 years?
Okay.
25. Okay, no problem.
Fine.
And then in prison, he's got his food.
He would walk out of prison with an arm and a leg. Okay.
Look, taxpayer, bro. You know what? I'm going to be paying that guy's food. I don't want to pay his food, but I want to pay his funeral. I want his funeral, but I'll pay for his funeral. Yeah. The thing is this: he's going to be in prison, got probably PlayStation, chilling, etc. Nah, brother, that guy should be get rid of.
Okay. Fine.
Solve the problem, and there's a rehab for everybody. They'll watch and say, we don't have to pay. Why am I going to pay someone to go in prison? Yeah? So Islam does what? Islam says the right of the decision should be to the family. 3 options. An eye for an eye. With this issue, the family, an eye for an eye, straight. Number 2, blood money. And number 3, Allah says it's better if you forgive. Me? Bro.
Hang on. That I know, and it's nice that Allah says it's good if you forgive. Why is it optimum to forgive?
It's better.
Why?
Because like Allah said, like we are told that if you want mercy from God, have mercy on others.
Okay, so when I'm talking this way, I'm being respectful of that principle, that being merciful
respect
is
as
the
well.
higher principle.
It is. We do.
So we agree on that as
No,
well?
we do, but it's at the discretion of the family, not the judge. The family is the one that's hurt, not some judge. I don't know who the hell he is or what biases he has. It's the family that's been hurt and wronged. Let them decide. So all we're saying here is, I want the betterment of the UK. Look, I'm a UK citizen. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes, bro. Yeah, okay. All right, I pay my taxes. Okay. So the thing is, I want the betterment for this country because I am amongst this
I hear you.
people. So I'm saying, I don't want people getting robbed. Someone's on the phone, get stabbed for no reason. I'm saying these individuals should receive capital punishment so I can walk in peace with my family. I don't look behind me.
Fine.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't want like what's going to happen. All I'm saying is that Islam has come to protect the communal rights, and it might sound barbaric.
It does.
But believe me, and let's suppose it is. Does it work? Yes.
Okay. Vlad the Impaler, he used to leave, I don't know if it's true, but I heard he used to leave gold goblets in the fountains in the towns where the people were almost starving to death, and nonetheless they weren't touched. Yeah? The people were living horrible existences, and that was like 100 million to them. No one touched it because they knew what would happen to them.
What would happen to
That
them?
impaled up the rectum with a wooden stake. Dracula, Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, I don't know him.
Okay, Vlad the Impaler. Dracula was based on Vlad the Impaler.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what he would do to them. So because they were so utterly scared, he managed to keep that level of social organisation. I would argue that was disproportionate. You wouldn't want to. Would you want to live in a state like
No,
that?
no.
Because he had social order absolutely down to a T,
But he had a
but
big
nonetheless, there's a balancing problem.
But there's a big problem here. You know why? If in the Sharia state, for example, there's a treasury. If a person is on a level of starvation, the state is to blame. Why is this individual, they don't have food to eat? The state is to blame, not the individual. So here you've got that's an actual barbarian who is given these laws of this will happen to you, but has no solutions for the masses. So in Islam, the state would be accountable that why is this person going to sleep hungry? Why is this person having this problem? They would have grants, like even the benefit system, it goes back to Islam, there's connections to Islam. So we're saying this, if we solve societal problems and make sure that everybody has enough to eat, now check this out. And this is going to be very profound.
Hang on, wait. I think you made a valid distinction, okay?
You're going to agree with what I'm going to say, yeah?
I just did.
No, this bit is the best part.
Go on.
What Islam does is the following. The reason why Islam's punishments are so severe is the reason. Let me tell you why. This is going to make so much sense to you. And tell me if I'm wrong.
No, it's not. But...
You haven't even heard of it.
Okay, go on.
You haven't even heard
Okay, I'll keep an open mind. Go
You're an
on.
open mind, yes? Okay. Now, what Islam does is the following. Islam gets rid of any kind of temptations on any sort of level. For example, be it temptations of the opposite gender, be it temptations of the worldly affairs. So what Islam does is it gets rid of it from a micro level to macro level, meaning the following. There is no reason for anybody to steal in a Sharia state, meaning the government takes care of you, yes? And it doesn't give you, for example, there won't be people saying, hey, make some money and you can live like us and sleep around, etc. Islam gets rid of these temptations. Only a person that is out of his mind would cross the boundaries when he is not being triggered. Meaning what? For example, if in the West, I'll give you an example. In the West, the women have been sexualized to such a level, they are walking sexual objects. So much so that they get harassed on the street. They've done a study, nearly 97% of women have been sexually harassed. Can you imagine, bro?
What?
Yes, nearly 97%.
What's your source on that?
I'll give it to you. Yes, after the woman who got killed by that police officer, there was a study done of sexual harassment. Yeah, they say that I'm very sure the number was from 92% to 97%. Yeah, nearly every single woman has been catcalled or sexually harassed. Islam does the following. Islam gets rid of all kinds of sexual objectification of women, from the posters, Cadbury, and she's in a bikini. But what the flipping has Cadbury got to do with a bikini? So what Islam does is gets rid of all of this stuff. Promotes that women are human beings, tells the men to lower your gaze, tells the woman to dress up appropriately. Now, a man, and by the way, a man has no excuse to do rape, even if she's dressed up inappropriately. But what Islam does is gets rid of all excuses. Now, if that man goes and commits rape, there's a capital punishment. Because why did you have to go out of your way? You have to go out your way. So do you see how Islam deals with it at a societal level? And if anybody crosses those boundaries which they have no damn reason, the capital punishment applies. Do you get it? If you don't do that and you promote this, for example, then how could you necessarily blame the criminal when the criminal has been perpetually fed something which causes him to act on that? So Islam says, no, we're going to deal with the problem, get rid of it, and then we're going to have these capital punishments in place. So what that does is, if I'm a person who earns a certain income, why would I want to steal? If the government is looking after me, I
think I've more than understood your point.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree because I think it's disproportionate punishment. I think a deeper point is I think religion isn't supposed to be about politics and collectives, it's supposed to be about individual souls. But let's not go there now because that's a deeper issue.
Yeah.
More to the point, out of interest, if the idea is to protect someone from all temptation, I asked Hamza last week, why then when you have a child, shouldn't you just keep them in a box, cut off from everything, feed them, let them live their life out, then they'll never be tempted, they're guaranteed to go to heaven, yeah? Why wouldn't you completely shut down all temptation? My version of virtue is when you're taken to the edge. There's more virtue in being tempted and resisting than in not being tempted. I suspect that I respect someone more who is given the possibility of doing something and resists it, and I think God might as well. You need a certain amount of temptation. It's like antibodies. You need to be exposed to a certain amount of dirt and grain to keep your healthy system up. And it's possible that the ideal society you're describing would over-sanitize that, and it will make people too fragile. It will mean that the minute they're tempted by anything, they can't handle it. Whereas personally, I can handle it. I can handle a woman in a bikini without... No, I can.
No, you can't.
Well, okay, the history of my life to date says that I haven't acted in a way which crossed any of the lines which you've described.
Are you a straight man?
As far as I know.
Okay, good. Let me tell you why. You know, we have this argument, yeah? A lot of non-Muslim men come and say, listen, you know, we control ourselves. And then you go to the Muslim men that can't control themselves. Let me tell you why you can control yourself. I was a non-Muslim at one point in my life, and I had a lot of friends that used to sleep around a lot, yeah? Now, if you have the openness of sleeping around, brother, of course you're not going to be on it. You've been sleeping with 50, 60 women.
I haven't.
And then, not you, I'm saying, yeah, not you, yeah? I'm saying this, if you want, you have nothing stopping you from having sex. Nothing.
Well, apart from the consent of the women, if they don't give it, you're not going to have it.
Of course, but it depends what consent is. One night stands, have you ever one night stands?
I mean, consent in the traditional sense of consent.
She wakes up in somebody's bed. Can you imagine waking up in somebody's bed? Who is it? I don't know. This is the level. You've made women a toilet. They're toilets. You know what a toilet is? Why do we go to toilet? To relieve ourselves, yeah? What do you think men do when they go into these women? They're relieving themselves. You have made women a toilet. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the Western system. So, what I'm saying is the following, yeah? Is that because you can easily go and sleep around, as a Muslim man, when I came to Islam, I don't have sleeping around. To me, it's I get married. So therefore, it would bother me more. Not that I'm saying like I could control myself in what sense? Yeah, that I can control myself as well as you. For me, it's harder. Why? Because you can easily meet somebody, sleep with her, and you've relieved yourself. As a Muslim man, I have to protect my gaze and not look, not touch her. I respect her because I don't see her in that way. I'm like, if I want you, I want to marry you. I want to speak to your father. I want to honor you. I want to marry you. I want to give you your rights. I want to have kids with you. Not use you as a toilet and say, yeah, flush the toilet and I'm gone now. So the thing is this. Of course, you're not going to see a woman in a bikini and you might be aroused, but the fact that you can sleep around, you have a way out. As Muslim men who fear God, we don't have that. We can't go and sleep around.
Hang on.
So therefore, for us, it is harder.
No, you always have a choice. Okay, you're negating the option of choice.
I did. I said to you, I can't. When I came to
Islam, you can do. You can choose to break. You can choose to break the code.
For 3.5 years, I was dying, bro. Fire.
Are you saying you don't have a choice?
Summertime, bro. I needed ice.
Ali,
ice bath.
Ali, you still have a choice.
It was hard, but yeah, you know. But
if you didn't have a choice, it wouldn't be virtuous.
Alhamdulillah, let me tell you something. Alhamdulillah, when you do that, let me tell you something. It's a choice that I abstain from that.
Okay, right. And I'm making a choice, and I'm abstaining, but I can be exposed to more temptation, and I can still choose to make the ethical decision. Look, I do respect in Islam the fact you guys are so diligent. Hold on, I really do. Yeah. I understand that, you know, you don't shake hands with women and you respect these ideas, and I can certainly imagine back in the day they made a hell of a lot of sense, yeah? I suspect back in the day, 1,500 years ago, these kind of social codes,
with their wives.
I can see that makes a lot of sense, okay? However, I suspect that you may be carrying some ideas that worked culturally back in a particular time,
they would work today.
And you're translating them to be eternal truths, which may not be so appropriate in a modern situation.
So I forgot your name.
Tony.
Tony. The point I'm saying is this, yeah, is that we believe that this attitude of promiscuity also harms yourself and the woman.
Yeah.
There are 1 million people in London that have STDs. Do you know that?
I'm not advocating promiscuity.
I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is, though, when you don't have objective morality and you go by based on subjective morality, what happens is that you are sleeping around, yes, and this is causing harm to these women.
Hang on, I do have objective laws in place in the culture. You're talking at a cultural level. Culturally, we have laws. The question is, are they proportionate? I think, on balance, they need modification. They're never going to be perfect, but they're ballpark doing a decent job.
Really? Like, do you believe that kids as young as
They could do better.
7, 8 could decide their gender?
Hang on,
Should they castrate themselves?
okay, now we've moved to a different topic.
That's the liberal worldview.
If you want to discuss transgenderism, we
No,
can,
I'm
but
saying-
for the
I'm saying,
minute,
is that moral?
is it moral for
That
somebody?
a child that you have to be 25 years
Okay.
old to get a gas, you're not sprayed can. Yeah, but you can be
Let me
engaged.
be clear. I think what is moral is to do your best to follow your fitra.
Fitra, yeah, come on. You need to accept Islam. Repeat after me.
No, my problem is if I accept Islam and then I have a different
You're
thought,
so
you're,
much happy.
you're reserved the right to kill me. That's one
Why
of the
would I-
reasons
why would I kill you? You came to
Because
Islam.
that's what we were discussing.
No, we're talking
No,
about capital
if I
punishment.
join Islam and then suddenly I wake up the next day and go, oh no, I should have been a Christian, you reserve the right to kill me.
No, that's no, man. Come on.
'Cause
It
I'm an
doesn't work
apostate,
like that.
'cause
it
I'm an
doesn't. No,
apostate.
it doesn't. We don't live in an Islamic country. There is no Sharia. There is
No.
no.
If I'm an
It doesn't
apostate,
work
if
like
I'm
that.
an apostate, I'm not talking about Sharia state.
No, it has to. I can't.
If I sign
do you think
up-
I'll go around looking for apostates?
Dude, hang on.
It
What's your
doesn't work like that.
policy? I didn't say you look for them,
Yes.
but your policy on apostasy is if someone joins and then leaves.
Not mine. I'm saying Islam.
You know what I mean?
No, but
Okay.
it's-
Colloquially,
I'm not a
you-
bounty hunter.
Okay, the Islamic position on apostasy, the version you subscribe to, because not all Muslims do subscribe to this interpretation.
Every Muslim would subscribe to
I
terrorism.
can show you Muslims in the park who don't
They are
subscribe
committing-
to it.
They are committing sins by
Yeah,
rejecting it.
they self-identify as Muslim. Be they right or wrong?
It's
Okay.
fine, but they can't reject it. Allah says in the Quran, you can't pick and choose.
Okay,
This ayah.
so obviously
When
you
Allah
think
is
your
message said-
interpretation is correct.
No,
Either
that
way,
is the interpretation.
if I join your faith, you believe it would then be appropriate to then potentially take my life if I chose to leave. Yes?
If you lived in an Islamic government and there was
No, whether I'm in
leadership-
an Islamic government or not, you think it would be?
No, of course not. You
Okay,
live,
fine.
You live in the West.
Okay.
You can leave anytime you like because there's no legislation.
Okay, then. If I now join Islam, which was your offer,
But no, I'm saying if you.
if I join, hang on, let me finish.
Yes.
If I join Islam now, which was your offer, and then this becomes a Sharia state,
Yes.
at that point, if I have a change of heart, you reserve the right to kill me.
Not me, the state.
I mean you
Not me.
colloquially.
The state. No,
But fine, the state will
No,
reserve.
state.
Fine.
I'm a nobody. I'll be
Okay, I
probably
agree.
going
The
to work.
state. So the
I'll be
state.
working when that
fine.
happens.
So the state will reserve the
The
right to
state
kill
has a
me.
capital punishment,
Okay.
treason.
Can you understand why that would be a big disincentive for me to join Islam now?
Well,
Can you
why
not
is it,
see
why
that?
is it not for me? Because I came to Islam and
Hang on. My question was, can you see why it would be a disincentive for me? Because I will suddenly be limiting my potential freedom and options, won't I?
Do you know what that'll do for you, me? When I heard that, I would just say I need to make sure that this religion is the truth. And once I come to the conclusion it is, I know I will not leave it. So I would just make sure that I do my due diligence properly and know that this religion is the truth. Because once I join it, I'm not leaving it. That's it.
Okay, again,
It's
my
making me do
question
my
was,
homework better.
if I join Islam, I will then be limiting my future options, yes?
I have said that, and I've said to you, this applies to also Americans.
What's your answer
treason.
to that question?
I
What's
said
your
to you-
answer to that
I
question?
said to you, yes, there is capital punishment. I said to you, no.
So if I join
Capital,
Islam now,
yes, there is a capital punishment. If it's an Islamic country, there will be capital punishment.
so I will be limiting my options?
Yes, there will be capital
Thank you.
punishment.
Thank you. I will be limiting. I'm not knocking Islam, okay? I'm a universalist, so I think there's
This
good
doesn't-
stuff
this
in
doesn't
all
make Islam
faith,
false.
including Islam.
This fact doesn't make Islam false.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it does.
Tony, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
What time
If
is it?
you community service then is
What do you want me to do? Pick apples or paint the...
whatever you think's appropriate, mate.
I think I'll be more productive. if
Whatever
I
you
can-
think
if I
would be
can pick
cool.
apples.
Okay,
Yes.
apples.
Am I
Picking
allowed to eat one or just pick?
whatever you like. That was a really nice chat.
You're
Thank you very
you're
much.
very generous.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Don't forget the mic. Yeah,
Whoa,
see?
always
I told
doing
you.
it. There you go. Cheers. Thank you.
Have we got any money? Use this. Yaklar bize Mehmet Ali.
Bu kötülük şeyi